says and walks out. She was holding in her hand. At this stage, I'm basically hysterical. I call the cops and they know all about her. Apparently, she is a violent schizo, and she hasn't taken her meds, but they can't force her or enter her apartment without her permission, because she owns it. The only thing they can do is get her when she goes outside. I sat up for the next 2 weeks waiting for her to run out of cigarettes. When I heard her leave at 2 a.m. to go across the road to the 7-Eleven, I called the cops. They had 3 cars and a special van over in less than 2 minutes. They restrained her and threw her in the van and drove off to some institution in less than a minute. It's like she was never there. I never saw her again. I still have nightmares about her looking at me in my sleep. This happened to me when I was about 8 years old, and it still scares me to this day. One evening, I went to let my dogs in from the back garden at around 9 p.m. It was pitch black, so I quickly opened the door, and my dogs came bounding in. As soon as they came in, I locked the door, and at this moment, a person on the other side pulled the handle down trying to get into my house. We had a glass door, so even in the dark I could see the outline of a man standing there. I ran to my dad, and he ran into the back garden after this man, and saw him running down the road. Since then I have closed and locked all doors at the speed of light. One of the scariest things I have...
Push it. Hit the bed, head back to the house, you know, the usual. One night, have all night, rock usual, of course. Hey boss. Hey boss. Hey guys, I'm Rocket. Rocket back up. See you guys in the morning. Up in the morning. Which one cross? I'm Rocket. Rocket back up. See you boss. See you boss. See you guys. Gang, you heard. Let's chill here. Press play.
So everything
Have fun for the day, yo.
As I'm taking a shower, I glance through the glass to the door to the bathroom, and I see a hand reach over to the light switch. All it did was hit the lights. That's it. No noise, no attack, nothing. It just turned off the lights. So there I am. I just saw someone's hand reach into the bathroom, and now I'm in my shower, and it's pitch black. I've never been so chilled to the bone before. Something about being in the darkness of the night, with the only noise being the water hitting the floor beneath me. It just reduced me to the most primal state of pure fear I've ever been in. I eventually get myself to leave the shower, and I hit the lights. The relief that came over me was immense. I've never been able to explain it. The stairs up to the landing are old, and they creak like hell. I would have heard someone come up and go down. No one was there. No one was in my room or the office. What was even more weird, nothing like it has ever happened since. I work as a night janitor at the local high school. I would 95% of the time be the only one working the night shift. There wasn't really a need for more than one. I always start with the downstairs classrooms and then work my way up to the upstairs. The cafeteria, gym, auditorium, and nurse's office. Those were all the responsibility of the morning and afternoon guys. So, since I was always working alone, I would usually have radios set up in the hallways, playing loud music, like I did on this one night. The upstairs of the school was shaped like a U rather than an O. So to go around to the other side, there was only one way. I was mopping the floor in one of the classrooms when I noticed from all the way across the other side of the school, the lights to one of the classrooms turned on. The light wasn't left on. I always shut the lights off to any room I wasn't in. I stood there with chills running through my body. I saw someone walking over to the window. They stopped and stared straight over at me through the window. It was the most disturbing thing I had ever seen. I didn't know what to do. Run away? Confront them? Call the police? I got closer to the window. The person looking at me looked to be in their 30s or 40s. He raised his hand and began waving at me, slowly. I pulled the curtains to the classroom shut and then tried to catch my breath. When I pulled the curtains open slightly to look again, the light to the classroom across the school was off. My heart began to pound. I was sure he was on his way over to this classroom. At that moment, the option to run seemed best. And so I did. I ran into the hallway and down the stairs to the back door of the school. I didn't care about anything at that moment except my life. The security cameras in the school revealed that at some time in the middle of the night, the man emerged from the school basement and started wandering around. I got a closer look at the man's face, and it was disturbing. He was not a normal-looking man. The scariest part was watching him go back down into the basement and then never coming out. He was never found. I was the lone recreation ranger in a small district in southern Idaho. Nearest town from the guard station was about 1.5 hours away. After moving into the guard station, solar power was not working, and I hadn't slept for about a month due to various factors. The woods there always had an eerie feeling to them, unlike the southwest Ponderosa forest that I was used to. About 2 months into the seasonal job, I started to hear something walking and scratching on the deck at night. Now, this district was known for its badgers and beavers, so I didn't think much of it. When leaving the cabin at night, I always had an eerie feeling, like I was being watched. One night, I was returning from my grocery run, and I had a bad feeling. At the time, I did not have my shotgun in the vehicle. After stepping out of the vehicle, I looked to the right of the cabin, about 50 feet from my front door. All I could see were 2 eyes, about 3.5 to 4 feet in the air. To say I freaked out was an understatement. I started yelling, "Get the hell out of here!" But the eyes only crouched down and inched closer to me. I tossed a piece of firewood in the general area, and whoever or whatever it was leapt back a bit, but did not make a sound. Tossed 4 or 5 more pieces, and whatever it was still inched forward. At this point, I fumbled with my keys. Of course, the solar power was out again. I managed to get inside and grabbed my shotgun. Technically, you are not supposed to have guns in government housing, but who lives in the hills have eyes back country and does not carry? I went outside, still could not get a good look with my headlamp, loaded the shotgun, and continued to throw pieces of wood with one hand. Finally, whatever or whoever it was walked back into the brush. That night, I drank about 4 IPAs and slept with my shotgun. In the morning, the trail crew came up and we found mountain lion tracks all over the porch, the rocking bench, and the compound leading back to the creek. After that event, I always heard the rocking chair move and someone walking on the porch, but never found any tracks after that. Considering that it was always muddy up there, it was weird to not find any tracks. I've been stalked by mountain lions before and never had that eerie feeling like I did that night. I used to work as a 911 operator in a relatively large metro area. One night, at around 3 a.m. or so, I answered a call from an elderly lady who said she didn't feel good. I tried to get more info about what was wrong. Chest pain, trouble breathing, headache, is she diabetic, etc. She gave me her address and phone number and said no one else was home, but the front door was unlocked so they could come in. I toned the call out as a general illness and kept trying to get more details. No matter what else I asked about what was wrong, all she would say is, "I just don't feel good. Can you send someone to help me?" After a few minutes, she said, "I'm gonna put the phone down for a minute. I need to go to the bathroom." I tried to get her to stay on the line with me, told her she can do whatever she needs to get ready, but I'd like to be able to stay in contact in case there's a problem. She said, "I'm gonna put the phone down. I'll just be a minute." I stayed on the line and asked for her every so often, but got no reply. A couple minutes passed, and then the fire department called on scene, so I just disconnected and didn't think much about it. I told them that the caller left the front door unlocked and that she was in the bathroom. A couple more minutes, and one of the firefighters called over the air with a weird tone and said, "How exactly was this caller received?" I told them the call was first party from the patient's home phone approximately 8 minutes ago. He didn't respond over the air, but called the desk from his cell phone. On the phone, he said, "Are you sure this wasn't a third-party call from a family member or something?" I said, "Negative. Caller advised I don't feel good and said no one else was in the house. So the best of my knowledge, the caller is the patient. Have you made contact?" He responded, "Yeah, she was in the bathroom like you said, but she's probably been dead for about 12 hours. Cold to the touch, fully livid, full rigor mortis. We're gonna need a deputy out here." Afterwards, we pulled the tapes of the radio and phone calls and checked the timestamps, the address, the phone number, and went over everything again a few times to see if I missed something. I called them back in the morning after the shift to see if they had any more information, but they were just as weirded out as we were. The phone was still in the living room, and the patient was dead in the bathroom. I'm currently a freshman in college. One of my close friends in my pledge class is on the soccer team and heard this story with too much evidence and corroboration for it to have been completely fabricated. My friend is close with this guy on the soccer team who recently went on a Tinder date with a junior at a college near us. She's from around Boston and commutes to her school. He matches with her on Tinder, takes her to dinner. They're having a good time and get to talking about their lives and such. On the date, she tells him about another date she had recently been on that left her with a bad feeling. She had matched with a normal-looking guy on Tinder from the area and agreed to meet up after talking for a while. They went to a restaurant to get dinner, and they had planned to go to a pretty popular bar near there for drinks afterwards. She got a bad feeling by the end of the dinner, and the bar didn't end up happening. Apparently, it wasn't anything too bad. She could just tell he was a bit strange and not her type. So she gives him an excuse and goes home. Their texts were normal afterwards, and she chalked it up to just a bad date. A couple days later, she meets up with the soccer guy from the beginning of the story, and they really hit it off. Her parents leave a few days after that for a trip, which she had told Soccer Guy about. The date went really well, and he planned on going over at some point to chill with her. The first night that her parents are gone, she wakes up to a noise in the kitchen. Her room is on the second floor. The kitchen is on the ground floor, and there's a basement under that. Normal house in Back Bay. So she thinks she heard something, and it freaks her out badly enough that she calls her parents. They tell her, everything's fine, you're probably just hearing things because it's an old house. Don't worry. Realistically, I think that would have been anyone's.
What is it? You know the rule. Hey boss. Hi boss. Hey guys. I'm Rocket, welcome back up. See you guys in the morning, I guess. The usual. We're at class in the morning. See you in the morning. 5 in the morning, let's head to school, you know, we're in class. Good morning, boss. Good morning, boss. Good morning, guys. I'm Rocket. Welcome back up. Let's go to over here, can. Press play.
Following me, pulled up into one of the parking spots. A guy called out from the driver's side and said, I don't want you to walk over here. Just stay there and listen. I just wanted to let you know that I wasn't following you. I saw you walking a while back, but I also saw a guy following you and hiding behind the bushes. A couple of times you went to turn around or stopped. He got really close. When I saw it, I started to follow you both, just to make sure you were safe. Go inside the store and call someone to come pick you up, please. I haven't seen him since you crossed the street. He waited until I was inside the store and then pulled away. I didn't have anyone to call, so I let the night cashier know what was going on and hung out with her for about an hour, and then I was forced to leave. I've never forgotten this incident, or that man, whoever he was. During the walk, I never saw anyone. But I have never been more terrified walking alone at night, and I feel very confident that he saved my life that night. This happened to my sister. Her husband and her had just had their first child a few months prior. My brother-in-law was working the graveyard shift at his job as my sister stayed home, taking care of my nephew. Around 2 a.m., she heard loud knocking on her back door. She went to go check it out and saw a lady banging on the door asking for my sister to let her in. The lady told my sister that her husband had just beat her and he was down the street and was looking for her. My sister was hesitant to let her inside since she had a newborn baby in the house and didn't want to interfere, so she told the lady that the best she could do was call the police for her. The lady told my sister to not call the police and to just let her in. This is where my sister got suspicious. She went to get her phone and called 911. When she went back to the door, the lady was gone. The police arrived a few minutes later, and they told my sister that the same situation happened a few streets down. Apparently, a man and a woman would do this in order to get inside people's houses. I'm sure this is very common, but having it almost happen to my sister and my nephew really creeps me out. What would have happened if she had opened the door for her?
Probably killed you.
When I was around 16 years old, my rapidly growing family finally moved from the house I had spent my entire life in. As you would expect, we spent a lot of time fondly remembering things we used to do in that house as we were packing everything up. At some point, I decided to go into the downstairs closet with a flashlight and read. Something I used to do when I was a young kid to get some peace and quiet. Now, this is one of those deep closets that goes under the stairs. It went back around 8 feet and then had a left turn into a very low, maybe 3-foot high space. This space was largely occupied by a mountain of old blankets and stuffed animals. Of course, this is the most fluffy spot to sit and read. About an hour in, I shift a little to get comfortable, and I hear a low, slow, warped voice say,
"You always make me happy."
I flipped out, hit my head on the low ceiling, and practically broke the door down getting out. After hyperventilating and explaining to my family why there was no color left in my face, I went back to see what it was. It was an old stuffed bear from when I was about 3 or 4 years old that I happened to lean on just right to press his belly. When I pressed his stomach again, though, nothing. This poor bear that I hadn't played with since I was a toddler used the last of its power, used its dying breath to tell me that I made it happy. You make me happy too, little bear, when you're not making me piss myself. I sleep in a 1-bedroom apartment, and every night I close my door because I don't have windows in my room, and I love the pitch black darkness. So I drift off and snooze for however long, and then start to stir. I casually wake up as my eyes adjust to the darkness. I check my phone and lay it back down to sleep more. As I'm laying there, I open my eyes and see a face. It's in the doorway of my now cracked open bedroom door. It's at the height of a child. It took me a minute to really gather what I was looking at. I could only make out the roundness of the little face and the black, beady eyes. The lips were very shadowy, but still visible. It just kept sort of swaying ever so slightly, like it was trying to spy on me. And I just looked at it, and after a long time being fully exhausted, I fell asleep. I then woke up. It was morning. I gradually sat up, stretched, and then looked at my phone. Then I remembered the creepy face that I had just seen a few hours ago. I thought it was interesting, that it must have been sleep paralysis, but that's never happened to me before. I then sat up and looked straight at my door, which was still cracked open. I never got up during the night. I remember that. And I always sleep with my door closed. I've told people this story, and they just tell me, yeah, right, or that's creepy. It was a weird situation. I can easily attribute the face to maybe still being sort of asleep, but the door slightly being open, that's something that I can't put my finger on. When I was a child, my family moved to a big, old 2-story house with big, empty rooms and creaking floorboards. Both of my parents worked, so I was often alone when I came home from school. One early evening when I came home, the house was dark. I called out, "Mom," and heard her say from upstairs,
"Yes?"
I called her again as I climbed the stairs to see which room she was in. We were decorating at the time, and I didn't know my way around the maze of rooms, but she was in one of the far ones, right down the hall. I felt uneasy, but I figured that was only natural, so I rushed forward to see my mom, knowing that her presence would calm my fears, as a mother's presence always does. Just as I reached for the handle of the door to let myself into the room, I heard the front door downstairs open, and my mom call out, "Sweetie, are you home?" I jumped back, startled, and ran down the stairs to her, but as I glanced back from the top of the stairs, the door to the room was now open slightly, and for a very brief moment, I saw someone peeking out at me. When my mom and I went up to check, there was no one there.